Hi, I'm Angus King, and we're delighted you're going to join us today to talk about digital education. And what we want to talk about is the most powerful instrument ever invented for education: the teacher. Not the computer, not the blackboard, not the book, but the teacher. What we're going to be talking about today with some educators is how to do it, what to do. The basic question is, 10 things I wish somebody had told me when a couple of thousand laptops arrived in my district. And that's what we're going to be talking about with Lisa Hogan, who is the tech integrator at SAD 75, but also a classroom teacher for many years, not in the Grostown School in Brunswick, maybe, but for a while. And Sarah Sutter, who is currently a classroom teacher, also a tech integrator, also a virtual educator. So we got all kinds of pieces. We're talking to teachers who really don't necessarily have done this in the past to say, Murphy's Law applies, guys. Things break, mechanical things, and there are going to be times. I'm sure you had times when the internet went down in the middle of a class or something like that.
I have, but in my 8 years of experience, I think they've been far fewer than I expected. I can only think of maybe 3 or 4 times where the power went out and we didn't have internet access. If the power goes out and the laptops are charged, we can still continue to work. We may not be able to work on the internet, which might be plan B instead of plan A. And for the most part, networks have worked really well, and I think over time have increased their ability to keep up with the work we're doing.
Well, and part of this new high school deployment is a brand new network,
Right.
which is going to be very big, vigorous, and a pretty good network from what I understand.
Yes, yeah, and so even though those things happen, I want people to know that it's not common that that's the problem.
Okay.
On the other hand, you want to test it yourself before you roll it out with your kids, and try it yourself, not just at home on your own network, but at the school network, to make sure things aren't blocked that you plan on using.
Right.
You may, if you have a technology integrator or some sort of person in your building that can help, the first time you do the project with the students, you may ask for that help, or if you have an I team,
Exactly.
grab that student that's the expert on that area, have them in the room. So you have additional supports. Nobody's expecting the teacher who's brand new to this to do it all on their own,
Right.
and to do it all immediately. So it's very much a scaffolding and working with the people you have available to move forward.
I want to get back to engagement for a minute, because we were talking about engaging the students. I think this technology has enormous potential for engaging the parents.
Definitely.
Oh, so can I tell a story?
Yes, by all means.
So my son was actually a 7th grader when the first laptops came out. Not the most engaged student. He's a great guy, but wasn't clearly excited about school. And he had laptops for 7th and 8th grade, and it was the only time in his 12 years of public education that I ever got to see his work. He would come home and he would open up his laptop and say, check this out, look what we did today. Hey, would you read this? Hey, and this was the first 2 years of the MLTI project. And then he went to high school, and I never saw any more work again unless I found it on his bedroom floor or hanging out of his backpack. So for me as a parent, I saw more of his work when it was in the digital form than in the paper form. And me as a teacher, I was able to have kids email parents their work. I'd say, why don't you email that to mom? I think she should see it. It's a great piece of work. Or the kids could post things on a web page and grandma could see it across the country. And so again, that audience piece and being able to share with parents was huge.
Well, but the whole thing of just simply letting parents know what the homework assignment is.
Absolutely, that connectivity part, the web really allows you to do community outreach in ways you haven't been able to do before, and the parents are part of that educational community that are completely integral to this process. So any means that you have of connecting with them, whether it's having daily announcements on the front page of the website for the school, having a homework website that teachers post to regularly, or that teachers have a classroom blog where they're daily or even weekly saying this is what the plan is for the week, this is what we're doing, or don't forget there's a big test on Friday. And letting parents know and including them in the educational process, having parent nights.
And that's something that we've been seeking for 100 or for 1,000
Absolutely.
years.
Right.
And there hasn't really, this is a way to do it, because, the standard answer is, got any math? No. Right. What's your homework tonight? Nothing. You know, and you say, oh, well, look right here, it says chapters 2 and 3. Oh, yeah, well,
Well, yeah. Well, and I think it's not extra work for the teacher, because for years I wrote a class newsletter that went home on Mondays. I never knew whether it got home, because it went in the backpack and maybe it got taken out and then maybe it didn't. But here, with the digital world, you put it on a web page, you don't have to worry about it coming out of the backpack. The parent can just go find it. So.
And there are lots of, and let's get back to resources, and we're about to wind up here, but resources. There's the MLTI website, there's mainelearns.org, which has a lot of information, which is now the new center that Betty Manchester and I are working with, that has a lot of pedagogical resources, professional development, so lots of resources, and we're going to try to package those along with this.
Just to piggyback on that, I think as we're teaching our students to become learners and to seek out what information they think they need and how to learn that, here's a great opportunity for teachers to do the same thing, to become self-motivated learners without expecting the professional development to be an hour on a Late Start Wednesday or only on a professional development day. It can be 24/7 at whatever time works for you, at little chunks, 15 minutes.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us, and thank Sarah and Lisa for what I hope is a stimulating and thought-provoking conversation. As I mentioned, there are lots of other resources we're going to be making available to make this huge transition. You should know, by the way, that you're sitting, you in Maine who are watching this, in the world center of this movement. It's happening all over the world, but we seem to be at the head of it here in Maine. And I really believe it's because from the very beginning, this project has focused on teachers, on educators, on learning as opposed to hardware and technology. And we're all figuring this out together. There are no magic answers, but I think there are two important points. A, this is important. It will make a difference. It is urgent that we get this right, because the whole future belongs to those who are educated. Global competition that we're facing is absolutely unprecedented, and creativity and education are going to be the dividing lines. And we don't have time to spend 10 or 20 years figuring this out. We've got to do it now. And there is a sense of urgency to this. And the second point is, we can do it. You can do it, and it is a change, and change is always hard, but it's an important one, and it is one which thousands of teachers in Maine have already crossed and mastered, and we're moving forward, taking it to the next level. So thanks a lot for being with us, and enjoy being digital.